Welcome to RPG Book Club Unplugged, the podcast where we play a video game and we talk about all of the games we wish we could still play that are referenced in said video game. I'm Sam.
I'm Bernard. I'm pretty sure we're not unplugged. Pretty sure
Uh,
my microphone is plugged in, and my Ethernet cable, and my computer's power cable, and my mouse and keyboard. And
yeah, I just called these sorts of episodes unplugged a million years ago, and now I'm stuck with it. So that's
I
what we
mean,
get.
it's just a bonus episode.
Yeah, we're talking about Astro Bot today, guys.
I love Astro Bot.
Yeah, Trish is indisposed this week, and I have a scheduling nightmare. And so I would rather only have to schedule one episode during my scheduling nightmare. And so we recorded yesterday, last week's episode, but we're recording today, this week's episode, and we're going to talk a shitload about Astro Bot.
Yes. So, what is the history of Astro Bot? I didn't ask you to prepare a history section, but we can pull up Wikipedia really quick and make sure we get it right.
Yeah, I believe Team Asobi is what's left over from Japan Studio.
Yes. And in 2018, they made Astro Bot Rescue Mission, which is a PlayStation VR game starring a cute little robot. And you can't play it because it's a PlayStation VR game, and who the hell had a PlayStation VR?
Yeah, I don't know a single person who did.
And it can't be backwards compatible on PlayStation VR 2 because the two systems work completely differently. They would have to completely remake a game to have it work on PlayStation VR 2.
Which is kind of insane to me.
We will probably never play that. But PlayStation 5 had a little pack-in game called Astro's Playroom, which everyone who played it was like, holy shit, this game is great. Mm-hmm. And it also stars the cute little robot Astro. And you just go around some fun levels collecting pieces of PlayStation hardware.
It's the first game was just bite-sized enough where you could beat the whole thing and clear it out in an evening, to then leave a gaping hole in your chest of, wow, I want more of this. They should make this game and make it real and make it long. And then they did that.
Yeah, they spent the next 4 years making it real, because just last month they, I think actually about almost a month to the day before this episode comes out, I think, if I'm doing my calendar math correctly, Astro Bot came out, which is a full-length 3D platformer, and it's fucking amazing. And so you already collected all the PlayStation hardware in the last game. So in this game, you're collecting little bots that are dressed up as PlayStation characters.
Yeah.
And bots that are not dressed up as PlayStation characters. They are just regular.
Yeah.
But about half of them are cool.
Mm-hmm. And there's some real deep cuts on there that make me specifically really happy. Yes. A lot of PS1 Z-list RPGs are represented, and that makes me very, very happy. You have Rudy from Wild Arms is in there. Dart from Legend of Dragoon is in there. Ark from Ark the Lad is in there. John Alundra from Alundra is in there.
So, there are a few places on the internet where you can find a list of all the VIP cameo bots in Astro Bot. And my favorite list that I found is on Reddit by a user called OK Hospital 4928. And so thank you, OK Hospital 4928. I think we should just go through this list and talk about these characters in these games and what we love about them and what we'd like to see from them and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So this list is in the order that the bots appear in the in-game list. So first we have whole bunch of God of War bots.
Yeah.
uh Dad of Boy for Kratos and Boy for Atreus, and then a bunch of other characters, all from the Norse era of God of War,
Hmm.
which is the two most recent games. I haven't played God of War Ragnarok yet, so I don't know if there's going to be like another Norse game or if he's going to go fuck up Egypt next or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Um,
I hadn't played any of the Norse God of Wars. I also have not played any of the Greek God of Wars, but I have kind of been interested in it. But one thing that Astro Bot does is certain bots have a bonus level where Astro plays their game instead of his game,
yeah,
and the God of War one was a lot of fun. And I'm like,
yeah.
maybe I should play God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok 2022.
God of War 2018 is a fucking fantastic game, and I've heard Ragnarok is even better.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
was really digging it. The boomerang ice axe thing is
yeah.
so cool.
And when I was playing it, I was thinking, oh, this watered down basic ass version of the Ice Axe is still fun. So imagine that Ice Axe, but even cooler and more fun.
And I've already been spoiled that my absolute favorite trope in the history of storytelling is the big climax of God of War 2018, and I now have to play it
Yes.
because every time somebody has a weapon that they promise they wouldn't use again, then they have to use it again. It gets me every single time.
hmm Yeah, I want to go back and revisit the Greek God of Wars.
Mhm.
Maybe not all of them because there's like five.
Yeah.
I don't know how they didn't run out of gods. Um, but I played the first one a long time ago, and I was like, "Yeah, this is pretty good." I don't see why everyone's fucking nutting over it, but
There were boobs in it, and it was in the 2000s.
I guess. But yeah, God of War Cold Edition is real great. So next is Spirit Guide, aka Kena.
I think it's Kana. Scarlett's been playing Kana Bridge of Spirits, and she really, really likes it. And it's like, Dad, you would really like this game. And I'm like, yeah, I bought it with my PS5 to play it, and then I played Atelier instead.
I was about to say everyone's favorite game, Kena Bridge of Spirits, but I guess it is someone's favorite game.
Yeah,
I
Scarlett at least likes it.
I haven't played it. It looks cool,
Yeah,
but
I
I've never heard of people playing it.
yeah, me neither. Scarlett was the first person I've ever seen actually play it. I remember when it was announced, I thought that it looked cool, which is why when I got my PS5, I bought it because there were like 5 games out when I got my PS5. But
The
I
5 in
never actually got
PlayStation 5 stands for the number of games.
it. Yes. So yeah, maybe I'll play it one day and I'll let you know if it's good or if it's only okay.
Cool. Um, Next are Tooled Up Mechanic and Multiverse Rebel, aka Ratchet, and Rivet from the Ratchet and Clank series. Ratchet being, of course, the hero along with Clank, and Rivet being a character who appeared in the most recent game, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Hmm. Did you play Rift Apart?
No.
It rules.
So I've
So
heard.
so Ratchet
I'm
and
not
Clank.
familiar with Ratchet and Clank in general. I just know it's sort of a 3D platformer, sort of a you shoot things, sort
Yeah.
of.
So it's a 3D platformer in the vein of like all of the so 3D platformers you have the Mario Banjo vibe, and then you have the licensed video game vibe. Ratchet and Clank is more of the licensed video game kind, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And it's all of its guns that you use are very interesting and fun to use. So it almost never is like, oh, this one is a pistol, and this one is also a pistol, but it shoots a little bit faster, like in a Call of Duty or a Perfect Dark or anything like that. It's like, okay, you have your regular pistol, and you have your shotgun and your rocket launcher, but then you also have this glove that throws disco balls that makes them dance so that you can sneak past them, and a lot of silly stuff like that, and they're all really good. I've heard that the if you're going to play them, you should probably play them in release order. I know you would anyways, Bernard, because that's who you are as a person. But
Yes.
uh, uh, because the vibe changes pretty hard after the PS3 era, but I have only played the PS3 era onwards, and I really like the newer vibe, so that's fine by me. But
The problem
uh
with playing them all in order is you would not believe how many Ratchet and Clank games there are.
yeah, there's four mainline games on the PS2, two different ones on the PSP. There's I
Let's
think
see.
three in
One,
the
two,
future
three,
timeline.
4, 5, 6, 7 on PS3, although I think one of those is a spin-off and one of them is like a prequel, just like a
Yeah,
prologue game to one of the others.
yeah. But yeah,
But there's a lot of them.
there's a lot of them, and so Into the Nexus is or not Into the Nexus, Rift Apart, same basic name. It's kind of annoying, but Rift Apart is an open world version of that. So where the others were 100% 3D platformer levels, you needed to get to the end of the thing and collect enough things on your way. This one is more big and open. You still kind of are like guided through the area. You can't really just go anywhere, but it does have a lot more of a exploratory feel. And the gunplay is really good. The platforming is really good. They're really good at how they hide their secrets. For a game series that really hasn't been about exploring and finding secrets, they kind of did really good right off the bat with this one. And it's just, again, kind of like Astro's Playroom. I I beat it, I think, in 2 sessions, and I just had a good weekend about it. And I got the platinum at the end of the weekend, and it was a whole lot of fun. And I definitely recommend it to people who like 3D platformers, who are probably the people that have listened this far into a review of Astro's Playroom.
Yeah, I will definitely play the Ratchet and Clank games, or at least some of them, at some point. Because they sound right up my alley. So next on the list is in Astro's Playroom. They, after release, they, to sort of lead up to uh Astro Bot, they added a few things to it, including I think 4 VIP bots that you can only get in Astro's Playroom. The first one being Stranded Scout, aka Celine from Returnal. And Returnal is like the best fucking video game ever made.
Oh wow.
Basically, it is I don't even know. It's like Metroid and near Metroid Prime specifically, and near and Dark Souls, and just it's every video game smushed into one, but yet it has a very distinct identity. It is so good. I am scared to go back and play it because it's so fucking hard, and I'm scared of it, even though I beat it. But
It's
yeah,
a it's a Metroid Prime Mania roguelike, right?
yeah,
Okay. That's all I knew about it, was that it was a roguelike and it reminded everybody of Metroid Prime.
that's all you need to know about it.
Basically, yeah. Which is it's not on this list, but Control has also been described as it's a Metroid Prime game. And
Yeah,
Metroid
it's a
Prime
Metroid
games,
Prime like.
Metroid Prime likes, they're like what, like 3 of them? You have the Metroid Prime series, you have Control, and you have the new Jedi Fallen Order games, and like that's it. It's kind of nuts that everyone didn't copy these games. So I mean, they sold like shitty, but
I
everyone
mean,
who played them really liked them.
Arkham Asylum is sort of that, right? The
Yeah,
first one. The other ones
yeah.
are like big open world games.
I would say Arkham Asylum is a Metroid Prime like. Yeah.
Next on the list is Clumsy Bean, aka Bean from Fall Guys. I never played Fall Guys, but I looked at it and I was like, that's a fantastic concept for a game.
hmm
I don't think we have anything else to say about Fall Guys.
No, that's another one that Scarlett plays all the time. It,
Hmm.
it is it is definitely a child and teenagers go crazy for that game, and I would like to play it with my friends in the same room more than I would like to play with randoms online.
Yeah, but it doesn't really work that way.
Mm.
Here's tell me. I don't know. I've never played this game, so hopefully Scarlett has. Uh, Vengeful Spirit, aka Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima. Does Scarlett have any opinions on Ghost of Tsushima?
No, it has ghosts in it. It says it's too spooky.
Oh, I see. I really want to play this game because I don't know. It looks really good.
Yeah.
And Tim Rogers has said it's really good.
Yeah, I've it's one of those that like when it came out, when they first announced it, I was like, I'm not going to play that. And then the more that I saw it, I was like, I bet that secretly rules. It kind of looks like it's a not like a passion project, but something similar to that, where it's like, oh, they really liked what they were doing here, and you can tell there's a lot of like heart in it. Marketing just made it look like it's an Assassin's Creed, and I'm out of Assassin's Creeds in my body. I don't have any more left in me. So
Hmm. Which
I
I love Assassin's Creed, but I completely understand that.
yeah uh so I got 1,000 gamer score in the original, and then I beat the two trilogy, the Ezio trilogy, and then the moment I started playing three, I was like, I can't do this again. I
Yeah,
just haven't played a
three
single one ever since.
three is where you kind of really get bogged down if you're playing them in order. Three are just like
Yeah,
but then four is pretty cool.
yeah.
It sort of starts picking up again. Next on the list is Patriotic Porter, aka Sam Porter Bridges from Death Stranding. I love Death Stranding so much. I need to actually fucking beat it before Death Stranding 2 comes out.
Yeah, I one of these days I'm going to play it and see if I can play it. It being child loss adjacent makes it pretty hard to deal with. So I don't know if I'll get through it. But the whole idea of it being like, oh hey, what if Octodad was a really serious commentary?
Yeah, that's sort of what it is. It's sort
Yeah.
of Octodad.
And I'm like, man, I kind of really want to play that a lot. So
Yeah.
I'll get to it one of these days. I just hope that it's not like one of the many vaguely online things where now that nobody's playing it anymore, it sucks to play. Like I played Journey single player, and I hope that I don't have to play Death Stranding single player whenever I get around to it, because uh, Journey doesn't hit when there's nobody else with you the entire game.
Death Stranding, I don't think it's not as big a deal as it is in Journey.
Okay.
Next up we have Magical Graffitist, aka Ash from Concrete Genie, for PlayStation 4, a 2019 game that I don't know about.
Scarlet really likes it.
Cool.
Yeah. Apparently Scarlet is a Sony first party monster.
Now this next one has Scarlet played because I haven't. Brave Biker, aka Deacon St. John from Days Gone.
I have not played it, but someone in some video essay used it as an example and showed parts of it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to get back to that, and I'm going to have to play that one of these days when I'm in
Yeah,
the mood for that sort of thing.
I feel like when it came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh man, Days Gone, that silly game, that game we're all going to make fun of, that game no one asked for." But then I feel like over the past 5 years, everyone has sort of been like, Days Gone is good actually. We didn't realize it at first, but Days Gone is really fucking good actually." And I'm like, "Oh man, I want to play Days Gone now."
Yeah.
Um, apparently it has like really weird, obtuse, annoying mechanics involving like surviving and getting fuel for your motorcycle and stuff. And I had a coworker who was like Man, I've sort of fallen off video games. I just play Call of Duty now. I tried playing that game Days Gone and had to like get fuel for my bike, and I couldn't handle it. And I'm like, yeah, man, but in my head I'm going, oh man, that sounds so good.
That sounds so good.
What doesn't sound good is Deviant Hunter, aka Connor, from Detroit Become Human. I've not played Detroit Become Human, but I've played other David Cage games, and I don't feel like I need to play more.
Yeah, for a while, me and Summer were playing a lot of the interactive movie ass games. Uh, Together we made our way through Life is Strange 1 and most of the way through Life is Strange 2. We're literally 30 minutes from the end of Life is Strange 2, but we also did The Quarry, and so we were like, this is a lot of fun to play together. It's like watching a horror movie together or whatever. So let me go through and get some. And so I got Detroit Become Human, and I showed Summer the trailer, and she goes, "That looks fucking dumb." So in the most like compromised, there are like 7 games in this subgenre. That one was just thrown out right away.
Omicron the Nomad Soul, which is David Cage's first game, I believe, is pretty neat and weird and bizarre and kind of bad, but kind of cool. Fahrenheit is kind of cool. Heavy Rain suck ass, and to be clear, Fahrenheit also suck ass, but it's also kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like the more powerful David Cage became, the more he was able to actually do exactly what he wanted to do, and that made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a bad artist.
I have no idea anything about Heavy Rain because in my brain, for some reason, Bullet Witch, God Hand, and Heavy Rain are the same video game, and I don't know why it's those 3 specific games. But
Bullet
I think
Witch
of
and God Hand, I can see.
but
Heavy Rain is different.
yeah.
It's not an action game. It's a high budget game. It's different.
Yeah, so every time I hear any of those 3, I think of this exact screenshot from Electronic Gaming Monthly that I think was actually for God Hand, but for some reason, all 3 of them, I'm like, oh yeah, it's that game, and they all share that that screenshot in my brain, and I have no idea what any of them are about because they've all mixed together in my brain, and I kind of want to just leave it that way and never play Bullet Witch or God Hand.
That's silly. Up next, we have Intrepid Rodent, aka Quill, from Moss, which is a pair of VR games, which they were on PSVR, have been ported to VR too, and are also on other VR platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played them, but
they similarly to Astro Bot Rescue Mission we're going to do a third person VR game, and it's going to be about looking at stuff from a third like an omniscient point of view to be able to do stuff instead of a first person action game. And I think that's a weird and neat way to use VR, and I want to play them, but I don't want to buy a PSVR.
I mean, the PSVR 2 is cool, but it costs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Up next is another VR person, Wormhole Survivor, aka Grant Moon from Farpoint. I don't know what Farpoint is. It's apparently a PSVR 1 game, published by Sony. I'm watching a trailer for it now. Looks like you're in space and you shoot stuff.
So
probably pretty cool. I like shooting stuff in space.
The list on Reddit has a direct link to the PlayStation Store, and on the PlayStation Store there is no media, there is no trailer, there's no nothing. There's just a guy in a space. So that's all I know about it. Sounds great. I love it.
Anyway, up next we have a bunch of Horizon bots, because one of the special levels is a Horizon themed level, so you get a bunch of Horizon bots there. I've not played Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West, or for God's sake, Lego Horizon Adventures.
I
But I have a feeling I would just get real into them. I have a feeling I would play Horizon Zero Dawn. I would get really into it. I would just devour it. I'd spend every waking moment playing it, and then afterwards, I would completely forget about it.
Yeah, I have a feeling that when I would finally sit down to play it, a massive open world genre defining game would come out, and I would play that instead
Yeah,
because that
that might
happened to both
happen.
of them.
What was the one for Forbidden West? I forget.
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. That's right, man. When does Lego Horizon Adventures come out? And is there something coming out at the same time? Because
Um,
that would be really funny. It comes
so
out November 14th. I don't think anything extremely huge is coming out then.
I don't know, but now I have to go to 2024 in video games.
You got to go to 2024 in video games. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D comes out the same day, so maybe that'll hurt it in Japan.
It'll hurt it for me.
Yeah, for me too. Also, I wasn't gonna play it anyway because I kind of don't like the whole Lego video game tone. It sort of is weird to me.
Yeah, they've gotten better. Because Storm is obsessed with him. Because he's 4.
Understandable.
He's 4. That's how it works. But
Yeah.
he played through Lego Jurassic World, which came out with the original Jurassic World, so it's kind of old at this point, and it's fine. But since then he's played the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, which I think is the most recent Lego game. I think it is. I don't know.
Who fucking knows?
Who fucking knows? But that one is real cool and a lot more like a video game you would want to play, sort of thing. So maybe Horizon will be pretty good.
I'm sure it'll be pretty good. I just don't like the whole the Lego movie tone. I was able to handle for exactly the duration of the first Lego movie.
Mm-hmm.
And after that I'd had enough to last me the rest of my life. I watched Lego Movie 2 and Lego Batman. I did not enjoy them because I'd had enough.
Yeah, I haven't watched Lego Movie 2. I watched Lego Batman, and I know that my eyes have partaken in the act of viewing Lego Batman on a screen. I have no idea what it's about or anything. It kind of just washed over me because I think I as well the novelty and earnestness of Lego Movie 1 was awesome and cool, and I don't need more of it.
Yeah. The Aloy Astro Bot is pretty cute. Of course, all the bots are pretty cute. Up next, we have Western Warrior, aka William Adams from Neo. I would really like to play the Neo games. And did you know this William Adams guy what is based on a real guy?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, some real English motherfucker who went to Japan and in the 17th century and became a big deal doing something. Probably not the stuff he does in Neo.
Yeah.
He probably did other things in real life.
Yeah.
He probably didn't kill demons with swords.
He might. We don't know. We weren't there.
Who can say?
Who could say? Yeah.
Up next, we have
Neo is a Soulsborne like, right?
yes, it is absolutely a Souls-like, straight up.
I will probably not play it. If I play a Souls like, I'm probably at this point. It's a toss up if I play Bloodborne, which was the one I've always been told I would like the most, or Elden Ring, which is the one that has training wheels where you can just grind and do things to be able to beat the game.
Well, for Bloodborne, you just gotta wait for that remaster. That's definitely coming.
Speaking of which, it's not a bot, but you can dress like Mr. John Bloodborne in the.
Oh yeah, you can. There is at least one Bloodborne bot in the game. I remember. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Up next, we have Beast Tamer, aka Boy, and Barrel Muncher, aka Trico from The Last Guardian. I never played The Last Guardian. What's the name of that guy, Fumito Ueda? Um, I
Eco
feel
Man.
like, yeah, I feel like the thing about Fumito Ueda's work, it's good and everything, but like the thing is, Eco and Shadow of the Colossus came out before we realized games could actually be art.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time The Last Guardian came out, we'd had every indie game and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of knew games could be art already.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't like set the world on fire.
Yeah. Something about it, like Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. Every time I see something from them, I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to play that and see what's up with it. But Last Guardian, I look at it and I'm like, this looks like a video game.
I mean, I think Trico is really cute. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. It's a very cute chimera. Up next, we have Phantom Thief, aka Joker from Persona 5.
Hell yeah.
I love Persona 5.
Me too.
For a while, I maintained that Persona 5 Royal was the best Persona game. Persona 3 Reload is probably actually better, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. So my private game that I mentioned last week, maybe in the bonus episode, I don't know. But like I said, it was a big chongus. It's not Persona 5 Royal. That one would be way too big of a chongus to try to keep quiet for 150 hours of video game.
That would be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And up next, we have Adorable Shadow, aka Teddy from Persona 4. I don't think we need to talk about him.
No, he's Teddy.
Folks know about Teddy. Up next is Protective Android, aka Aegis from Persona 3. And her flavor text in the game is "We'll stay with you to the very end," and I'm cry.
How's episode Igus? Is it good?
Not particularly.
Okay.
It's fun to play, but the problem is some of the core mechanics are necessarily sort of stripped out, and also it's sort of like just like pure dungeon crawling,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fun, but it's hard to lose yourself in it.
Yeah.
Up next we have Raider Dude, aka Nathan Drake from Uncharted, and a bunch of Nathan Drakes, a
So
bunch of Uncharteds.
I played this level. I'm not done with Astro Bot, but I played the Uncharted level like 20 minutes before we started recording, and I love that the level is called Dude Raider because that's what everybody who
Yeah.
like drug the Uncharted games for calling it a Tomb Raider ripoff. They're like, oh, it's just Dude Raider. It's just a dude Tomb Raider, and they just embraced it, and it made me smile. That's what they call the thing.
Same thing with them calling Kratos Dad of Boy. A lot of people were calling God of War Dad of Boy.
Yeah.
But Uncharted is fine.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
My least favorite part of Uncharted is how much you have to rely on its gunplay, and the guns aren't even that good. Like if it was just a pure platformer, I would like it a lot more than I do. Every time I get to a gunfight bottleneck, I kind of fall off and don't want to play the game anymore, which is hilarious because the thing that they make the Uncharted level in Astrobot be is they just give Astro a gun.
Yeah, and it's the least interesting one of those.
They do a couple cool things because the actual big thing that Uncharted does is they kind of created the Prestige video game.
Yeah.
And so they'll have big set pieces all the time where you're platforming on a train as it falls off a cliff and all of that shit. And they do a lot of those sorts of things in the level, but mechanics wise, it's just you get a gun and it's not nearly as good as the other ones.
Yeah. Up next we have Yarnum Tourist, aka Hunter from Bloodborne. Sam, you were wrong.
I was wrong.
Bloodborne guy isn't here. And I was thinking of Nightmare Guardian, aka Lady Maria, from Bloodborne is also in the game.
Yeah, it's weird that they let you dress up as Hunter and he's in the game.
There are a lot of characters like that, I think. They
Yeah, I
let you
know.
dress up as them,
The,
but also they're in the game.
yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, the free costume is the Ratchet costume.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they're all like that. But I'm used to things like in Smash Brothers. If you get a character, they're not going to be a me costume, and they're not going to be a trophy, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, technically, there are trophies for every player character in Smash Brothers.
I meant like assist trophy specifically.
Oh, assist trophy. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there are me costumes for a lot of playable characters.
I
But
don't
anyway,
know. Anyways,
next up we have Delson Rowe, Abigail Fetch Walker, and Cole McGrath from the Infamous games. Roguish Conduit, Neon Avenger, and Electric Vigilante. I really like the Infamous games. I never played Infamous 2. I did play Infamous Festival of Blood. You want to know my favorite thing about Infamous Festival of Blood?
what?
So, Infamous 1, Cole McGrath was just like a regular guy who got superpowers. But he had this extremely gravelly, stupid ass, grizzled mercenary voice because it was 2009 and it was the PlayStation 3 and he was a video game protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Infamous Festival of Blood, and I'm guessing Infamous 2, his voice is still really deep and gravelly, but it's different in a way that makes it sound like a real person. And I was like, oh, that's really neat that they like, I don't know, maybe it's the same actor. I think it's probably not because it just sounds very different, but it's like they did a different voice, but they gave it the same qualities, but still made it sound like what the character is actually supposed to be. I think that's really neat.
I also really like the Infamous games, and I also have not played Infamous 2. I specifically was not expecting to really, really, really like Infamous Second Son,
Oh, it's
but
great.
that was when I got my PS4, it was like a year into the PS4 era, and Amazon had a special where if you bought it, you got the PS4 Last of Us Remastered and Infamous Second Son all as a bundle, and that's one of the best bundles I've ever gotten in video game history.
That's a pretty good bundle. You know, it's weird that Sony is remastering fucking Horizon Zero Dawn instead of, I don't know, the Infamous games.
Yeah.
Seeing as Horizon Zero Dawn already has a PlayStation 5 patch and runs really well. And apparently they're doing a lot of stuff they are actually doing a lot of stuff to improve it, but like still.
Yeah.
I want to play Infamous on my PS5.
Yeah. Sony's been doing that a lot. Like The Last of Us Remastered PS4 also has a PS5 patch, and then they made it again for PS5, and they're now doing that with Horizon, where they have to remake the game when there's only 2 games in the series. It's very, very, very weird thing that keeps happening. But
What do you mean there's only 2 games in the series? There's also the PlayStation VR2 game.
there is, and that PlayStation VR2 game is the number one thing that makes me want to get a VR2. The Linus Tech Tips did a like, oh, here's the PSVR2. Let's see if it's any good sort of video, and the gameplay of that one, fine, but the like eye tracking where they only render HD where your eyes are actually looking at and stuff like that, like all of those sorts of things, I'm like, this is a cool piece of technology and I would like to have this and play around with it with this game in particular, but not for the price tag.
Yeah, unfortunately VR stuff costs money. So up next we have Secret Octopus, aka Octodad from Octodad.
Yeah,
Octodad is silly.
it's very silly. It's another game that Scarlett really, really likes. I downloaded it on my Steam Deck like one of the first days I got a Steam Deck and handed it to Scar so she could play around on Dad's new toy, and she like asked if she could bring it to her room and just play it all day. And that's all I know about Octodad. I missed the boat on it when it came out, and everybody was giving it praises and everything.
Up next is Papercraft Posty, aka Iota from Tearaway. Tearaway broke my heart because the trailer was incredible, and I forget what the timeline is. I either was really into PlayStation Vita or I really wanted a PlayStation Vita.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh man, Tearaway, this is going to be the best game ever. But then I saw it was made by Media Molecule, the people who made the Little Big Planet games, which are like some of them. When I tried to play the Little Big Planet games, they made me depressed with how bad the game feel was.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this probably isn't going to be very good.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever actually tried playing it. Maybe it's good.
Yeah, I haven't
But
played...
I don't trust Media Molecule.
Yeah, I
I'm
haven't
sorry.
played Tearaway, but I played through Little Big Planet 3 with Summer, and the gameplay is much better in 3. And
Well, and
in
three was developed by Sumo Digital, so there you go.
Then yeah, that's what that is.
Sumo Digital is real fucking good at what they do.
Yeah, so then yeah, I have no idea if Tearaway is any good or not.
Let's see. Next, we have Living Relic, aka Knack from Knack. I've not played Knack, but I know Knack is important to a lot of people.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Knack with the kids, and it was a video game.
I'm sure it was. We have Gifted Soul, aka Jody Holmes from Beyond Two Souls, another David Cage joint. Who the fuck cares? We have an origami thing from Heavy Rain, another David Cage thing. Who cares? Pure Hearted Puppet, aka Kutaro from Puppeteer. I don't know what Puppeteer is. It's some PS3 game that I remember seeing in the PlayStation Store. When I saw the Puppeteer bot for half a second, I thought it was Tracer.
Yeah, I thought so too. But yeah, the aesthetic looks interesting, and that's as much as I know about Puppeteer. Maybe I'll play it one of these days because you are now morally obligated to pirate PS3 games.
Up next, we have Dependable Smuggler, aka Joel from The Last of Us, whose flavor text is tells the occasional white lie, which I laughed at real hard.
It's so good.
A lot of the flavor text in this game is real good. A lot of it is just like, basic stuff, facile jokes, or just references, but some of them are real good. We have Immune Survivor, aka Ellie, and Fungus Head, aka Infected, from The Last of Us. We have Forgotten Mascot, Polygon Man, who was some PS1 marketing character, which
Polygon Man.
Who the fuck is Polygon Man?
He's Polygon Man. He's a big purple-headed guy.
I had never heard of Polygon Man before I saw him in the thing, in the Astro Bot.
Yeah, I mostly only know that he exists because of PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, because I've looked up the roster for that one because they had announced Legend of Dragoon DLC and then canceled it. So I was like, well, what made the cut? And Dartfeld did not, and Polygon Man made the cut, and Dart did not.
We also have Desert Wanderer, aka the Traveler from Journey. We already talked about Journey.
Yeah. Notable multiplayer game, Journey.
We have Gravity Shifter Cat from Gravity Rush, and also, I don't know how to pronounce this. Either way, I think is very funny. Hexville or Hexaville. aka Raven, also from Gravity Rush. I've not played Gravity Rush. I bet it's pretty cool.
I
You know,
played
I
a
say I was really into Vita. I did not play Tearaway or Gravity Rush, so how into Vita was I really?
yeah, I've played a little bit of Gravity Rush 1 on the Vita, and it's fine, but I didn't get far enough for it to be a real video game yet. Like I was still doing the first like tutorial thing where you're not supposed to understand what's going on. It starts in media res and everything. One of these days I'll get back to it. I'll probably play the PS4 versions just because the back touchpad was a mistake,
Yeah.
and I don't like using it. And I would rather have a trigger to do the same thing.
Let's see. We have the Slayer of Demons and Maiden in Black from Demon's Souls. I want to play the new Demon's Souls and also the old Demon's Souls because I like Souls.
Yeah, so my roommate in college, David, was really into uh quote unquote difficult games because this was before Demon Souls. So I don't even know what you counted as difficult games back then. And I know one Christmas I got him, I almost said Eternal Sunshine, Eternal Darkness for the GameCube. And then the next year I got him Demon Souls Sight Unseen, and I probably changed him as as a person. But the thing with Demon Souls and most of the Dark Souls, which is why Bloodborne and Elden Ring are the ones I'll probably actually play, is that they kind of just look like Unity Asset Store games, and nobody agrees with me. Everyone says that the art style is fantastic, and I'm glad that everybody else likes it. But for me, the Demon Souls guy looks like just a suit of armor, and
Fair enough.
that's it. And I can't get over that part of it, and it's a weird little mental block in my head that me looking over David's shoulder and just seeing him walk around as a medieval looking guy, and I'm like, this game looks stupid.
Um, we have Sackboy from Little Big Planet. I've said I hate Little Big Planet already, but Sackboy: A Big Adventure I played a bit of, and it's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's a Mario 3D Land / world like.
yeah.
More like
Which
3D World than Land, but
Yeah, there should be more games like that. I think 3D platformer has evolved enough where we should have three kinds, if not more than three kinds. But you have your Mario 64 Banjo Kazooies, you have your Ratchet and Clanks, and then you have your Mario 3D Lands. And I would love each of those genres, A, to have more games in them, period, at all, but B, to like explore the game design of those areas. I feel are massively undertapped for all three versions of 3D platformer.
I feel kind of bad for Sackboy: A Big Adventure now because Astro Bot is here, and there is now a different 3D platformer on PS5 to overshadow it.
Yeah, I love how I just said there's three different kinds, and Astrobot is the most like a 3D world like, but it also kind of feels like Galaxy, which kind of feels like a Mario 64 like, and so it's kind of in between, but it rules, and I want more of these things.
Up next we have 3 of the little things from Patapon, which I've never played.
Me
Uh,
neither.
I don't think I ever had a PSP, so I never played Patapon or Loco Roco.
I had a PSP, and the game that I played on it was Final Fantasy VI Advance. I don't think I played many real PSP games. I know I played Star Oceans because that's who I am,
That is who
and
you are.
I can't think of another actual PSP game that I played. The rest of it I had just hacked and had a bigger screen Game Boy Advance.
Up next is Fragile Knight, aka Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, which is weird because when I think of Ghosts and Goblins, I always think of the NES and the Super Nintendo. But there are certainly a lot of Ghosts and Goblins games on PlayStation consoles.
Yeah. Did you know that Maximo was the 3D Ghosts and Goblins?
Yeah,
I did not know that at the time. I just thought Maximo was
its
just
own thing.
its own thing, and I only learned like last year that it was Ghosts and Goblins 7 or whatever.
Yeah. I want to play Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. I hear it's good.
Yeah, I've heard the same.
Up next, we have a bunch of blobs from Loco Roco because that's the last of the special stages. I think it's the last one. Have You haven't played the Loco Roco stage yet, have you?
I have not played the Loco Roco stage.
Okay, then I'm probably right.
Yeah, because I haven't played the Horizon one and I haven't played the Loco Roco one. So and those are the last two that I have. So yeah.
The Loco Roco stage is cute, as you might expect if you've seen Loco Roco shit.
Yeah, when I saw a whole bunch of things from Loco Roco and I figured that they were the last special stage, I was stoked because Loco Roco is way different from Astro Bot. So seeing how Astro Bot would adapt that gameplay style has me excited, and I can't wait to get there.
Mm-hmm. We have a baseball player from MLB The Show, which I find very funny.
And now we get to the part of the list where weirdos like me get real happy.
Yeah,
there's a lot of weird shit coming up.
We have Galactic Pirate, aka Jaster Rogue from Rogue Galaxy.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite JRPG.
When I was going through the list, like, oh, who all is in this game? And I saw fucking Jaster Rogue. I was like, this game is insane. Well, this is the only reason Jaster Rogue is here is because Square said no.
Yeah, I was about to say they gotta have level 5 representation here, but they can't do Dragon Quest 8, and the Yokai Watch games are on Nintendo, so they got to do this, and they also have a guy from Dark Cloud, I think, later on in the list.
Yeah, they could have done Ni no Kuni. Those are PlayStation firsts, but
well, technically, Ni no Kuni came out on PlayStation and Nintendo DS, the first one. But yeah, Jaster Rogue.
Jaster frickin' Rogue.
Up next is Tattooed Dragon Kazuma Kiryu from Yakuza / Like a Dragon.
Hell yeah.
Love him. Still feels weird that he didn't get to be in Smash.
Yeah.
He deserved it, but I don't know if it's actually true that the people at Sega said they didn't want Kiryu punching women, and that's why he didn't get to be in Smash. I don't know if that's actually true, but it's funny and makes sense. Up next is Adam Conover from Adam Ruins Everything. It's actually Quizmaster from Buzz the Big Quiz, but everyone says it looks like Adam Conover because it does.
That's amazing.
And also, its flavor text has a tendency to question everything, which Adam Conover does.
Uh-huh.
Up next, we have 3 bots, Wander, Mono, and Aggro from Shadow of the Colossus, which Shadow of the Colossus is so good. You should play it. I don't know if you'd like it, but you should play it.
Yeah, I think I would like it. And it's one of those, I think it also would be a good weekend game. I can't imagine that game is very long for it just to be boss fights. But one of these weekends I'll do it, and I won't tell anybody about it until it's all done.
How long is that game? It's actually not the original one. It says 9.5 hours. The new one it says 7 hours on how long to beat.
Okay, yeah, a good weekender game.
Yeah. Up next we have a number of characters from Metal Gear. Metal Gear is not one of the special stages because it's not actually a Sony first party thing, but there are a bunch of Metal Gear things, and now I'm thinking it would be so funny if there were a Metal Gear special stage where you get a cardboard box and you have to do sneaking and stuff.
That would be very cool.
But we have Raiden, we have Naked Snake, we have Solid Snake, we have Gray Fox, we have Psycho Mantis.
Solid Snake's flavor text is he was a terrible child.
I know. I love it.
It's so
Les enfants terribles.
So good.
And Psycho Mantis, you can unlock props for a lot of the VIP bots, and the one for Psycho Mantis is a CRT and a PS1 with the controller sitting on the ground, and he'll float above it and make the controller rumble, and it's
so good.
It's cute. And we have 3 Helghast soldiers from Killzone. I was looking through my oldest PS3 trophies earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out I played all of Killzone 2. I beat that game. I had no idea I had played a Killzone game.
I have never played a Killzone game.
As far as you know, you might look through your PS3 trophies at some point and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I've always been slightly interested in them because they were the quote unquote Halo killer. And because of that, I was like reading them a lot to see were they the real Halo killer, and they weren't. Halo was its own Halo killer. Halo 4 was the Halo killer. But yeah, I've always been interested in going back to them, but now it feels like I'm fine. I don't gotta.
I mean, I think they're probably pretty good. I want to play them, but
Again, apparently.
again, I want to replay them. We have 2 people from representing SingStar, which is some singing game.
Yeah, no idea.
I mean, I had heard of them, but yeah. And up next we have the Prince from Katamari.
Hell yeah. Love.
There are only a few, I think, Namco Bandai characters, or Bandai Namco, I'm sorry, forgive me, Bandai Namco characters in this, but I'm so glad the Prince is there.
Mm-hmm.
Katamari Damacy is like in my top 5 favorite games of all time.
Yeah, I recently went to try and play it. Either one of the remakes or on like the Steam Deck or something, and I was not jiving with it. But I remember playing it like at my friend's house because I didn't have it back in the day. I loved it back in the day. I need to just like sit down with it and play it and have a good old time. But the last time I tried it, I bounced off of it, even though I love everything about it.
It's a perfect video game. Up next, we have a Palico from Monster Hunter, because we mentioned that Square Enix said no. Capcom did not say no. They said yes.
They said hell yeah.
So we have a Palico from Monster Hunter. Up next, we have Shibito from Siren. I have not played the Siren games. I really want to. All I've heard is Tim Rogers talk about them very briefly, and I'm like, oh, that sounds real cool.
I know nothing about them, but they're apparently included in PlayStation Plus Premium.
Yeah. And up next we have Maximilian from Dark Cloud, so we got a little more level 5. We have Sly Cooper from Sly Cooper. I've never played Sly Cooper.
I played a little bit of one of them on the PS3, and I kind of hated it, and I thought it was really really bad. And then I found out that it was the original trilogy was written as a trilogy and has a solid definitive ending, and the Sucker Punch was like, all right, we're done, and Sony's like, no you're not, and they're like, we're done, you can have it. And so somebody else made Sly Cooper and got everything wrong about it apparently. And I've seen several video essays like dragging it through the mud and being like, here's everything that they completely missed about why we like the original 3 Sly Coopers. So
Damn.
I've only played the bad one. I'm sure the other ones are really good.
All right then. Yeah, I'll probably play Sly Cooper at some point.
Yeah.
We have Ulala from Space Channel 5, which this is another one where when I think Ulala, I think of Sega, but Space Channel 5 was on PS2 as well, so.
Yeah. And there's a remake of it for PSVR, so there's that.
Fucking apparently. If you have a PlayStation VR 1. Up next, we have Jack from Jak and Daxter. I played Jak 1 a long time ago. I enjoyed it. I hear Jak 2 and Jak 3 are bonkers.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Jak 1 and I thought that it was okay. And then hearing Tim Rogers say how much Jak 2 rules, I want to get back around to playing Jak 2. I might just not finish Jak 1 and just go into Jak 2. because it's so radically different. It might as well.
Yeah. Up next, we have the Hacker from Rez. I've not played Rez. I want to.
Mm-hmm.
We have Tact from Mad Maestro. I've not played Mad Maestro. I kind of want to.
I know absolutely nothing about Mad Maestro.
I neither do I, but it's just some PS2 rhythm game that is weird in Japanese, and I like weird Japanese games.
And it's got a great aesthetic of
Yeah,
the bad PS2 turn of the century aesthetic. It's
yeah.
got that one, so I'm
Uh,
into
up
it.
up next, we have Eco and Yorda from Eco, and I just want to point out Eco's flavor text is "sticks to the shadows," which is an incredibly good pun, because the bad guys in that game are shadows, and Eco fights
Fight
with
with
a
a stick.
stick.
That's very good.
So I love that. We have Pyramid Head from Silent Hill because
Oh yeah.
Konami also said yes. Although I am disappointed that Konami did not make them include a Shiori Fujisaki Astro
Mhm.
Bot. That would have been so funny to me personally.
Yes. I would have loved that.
Pyramid Head's title is Impractical Butcher. We have Dante from Devil May Cry, classic. Love
Mhm.
Devil May Cry. Hot take: DMC is good.
I have never played a Devil May Cry. I vaguely am remembering picking up a, a Devil May Cry 3 a little bit, but not enough to actually like know anything about it. Like it didn't imprint on me. I just vaguely remember like moving the character around.
Hmm.
I have always wanted to go back and play them because they seem to be a fun hack and slashy action game, and those are good. Not turn your brain off, but
Oh no.
like vibe while you're playing more than
Oh yeah.
like more than it's like not a Dark Souls. It's still hard, but not in the same way. So you can just kind of hang out and chill with an action game, and I want to do that. I
Yeah.
like doing that.
We have Samanosuke Akechi from Onimusha. I've played the first Onimusha game. It rules.
I've
Uh,
played none of them.
it is very much Resident Evil, but in old-timey Japan for some reason, and it rules.
That sounds like it rules. For some reason, I was thinking it was a Muso the entire time.
Oh no, it's straight up Resident Evil.
That owns. I should play Onimusha.
Uh, and I screamed when I saw this one, Boku from Boku no Natsuyasumi.
Hell yeah. And the Astrobot for it is super cute too.
Oh, of course. I love the dog shirt.
Apparently, the new one, not the Shin-Chan one, that
Yeah,
actually uses the phrase "Boku no Natsuyasumi," but there's one. It's
Natsuman 20th Century Summer Kid.
I think that's the one. I've heard that one's really really good.
Isn't that
And
one actually made by the same
yeah,
people? Yeah,
yeah,
Millennium Kitchen.
yeah, and it is a good uh Japanese learning game because the you write in your journal is how you go, and you go around to do all your quest stuff, and for some reason I don't know why, but it's kind of cute. You can pick how much you want to write in your journal about each thing on if it matters to you a lot or not. And the first one, the basic one, is like a basic Japanese sentence, and then the second one is a more complicated one, and then the third one is like a very complicated sentence. So you could like choose your own level of engagement with the Japanese language while playing that
Interesting.
game, and that's kind of unheard of in like doing that in English. I don't know why you would do that from a gameplay wise, but as a Japanese learning tool, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to play it, especially because being a game about a kid in a city, I probably have lots of vocabulary from it. I do not necessarily have the vocabulary for an angel trying to recreate the world tree, which is the game I'm currently playing in Japanese for Dragon Quest IX. But yeah, Natsumon looks really good, and it's one that I want to play.
Man, I wish I could buy Boku's dog shirt somewhere. I want to wear that.
I'm sure you can.
We have Vibri from Vibribbon, or Vibri from Vibribbon. I don't know. I haven't played Vibribbon.
I haven't either.
We have Dart from The Legend of Dragoon.
I like that game a lot. If you want
So
to hear
I've
me,
heard.
if you want to hear me talk about that game for 9 episodes, you can go listen to me talk about this game for 9 episodes, and listen to Maddie talk about the architecture of this game for 9 episodes.
Go to the feed and scroll for a long
A
time.
long time. That was all the way back in year one.
We have The Chef from Ore no Riori, which I had never heard of, but you were like, oh man, that game.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but on the Insert Credit podcast, Tim Rogers talks about how much it rules, and I tend to like the games that Tim Rogers likes, so I want to play it.
Yeah. I do not believe it has a translation, which
Mm-mm.
is a shame for me who does not speak Japanese.
No, but
But
it
maybe
looks good.
someday, maybe you'll make the translation patch.
Maybe I will.
We have Raziel and Kane from Legacy of Kane. I've never played the Legacy of Kane games, but they're making that Legacy of Kane remastered thing, and they're putting Blood Omen Legacy of Kane on PlayStation Plus, so maybe I will play them.
So Legacy of Kain is kind of wild. So Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, aka Legacy of Kain 1, if you think of it that way, is a Diablo ass action RPG. And then Soul Reaver is a Metroidvania, Metroid Prime like before Metroid Prime, and they kind of don't have anything to do with each other. And the two different people, the teams that were making them, kind of didn't even really get along. So think of Blood Omen Legacy of Kain as its own series versus Soul Reaver, which is also its own series. And it's they're so vastly different to be the two games that came out in the quote unquote same series right back to back to each other.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I know about Soul Reaver specifically is it's demo ruled on PlayStation Demo Disc 8. PlayStation Demo Disc 8 is one of the best games on the PS1. It had Metal Gear Solid, Spyro, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. It had Medieval. It had uh, a trailer for one of the Crash Bandicoot games. It had NFL Blitz. It had something else that I'm not thinking of, but it had a lot of the like best games on the PS1. All were on the same demo disc, and it ruled.
Man, demo discs were fun.
I think that's the biggest thing that I miss in modern gaming is a little curated sampler platter. Because like I would never pick up Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver in 1998. I was a tiny little child. I would not I would not look at that game and think that it was made for me, but because it was on the demo disc, I played it and I really really liked it. And I've always wanted to go back and play it for real.
Up next, we have Toru Inoue and Kuro. Toru Inoue is a mascot for Sony Interactive Entertainment, formerly Sony Computer Entertainment in Japan, and has appeared in the game Doku Demo Isio. But I've not played Doku Demo Isio because I do not speak Japanese. But I love Toru Inoue. He's real cute.
Absolutely.
Predates Animal Crossing and looks like the best Animal Crossing character.
Yeah,
So pretty good.
pretty good.
Um, Up next, we have Taneo Tanamatsuri from Incredible Crisis, another game that I want to play. I think that one might
Well,
actually have a.
it
Yeah, that one.
it does. Is this a, is
Oh,
this
that one actually came out in English, apparently.
yeah? Is this Raw Danger? Is that
No,
no? Okay,
I don't think so.
I don't I don't think so. But this is a game that Tim Rogers talked about in one of his things because I'm recognizing the cutscenes. But
Yes, this is a game that Tim Rogers is a big fan of.
yeah, so I definitely want to play it.
And up next, we have Spike from Ape Escape. And Spectre from Ape Escape and a bunch of identical apes from Ape Escape. And I played Ape Escape for the first time today.
How was it?
It's hilarious. It's so funny how the stuff they're trying to do with the DualShock controller, because it's like every gadget is just you do some different arcane stupid thing with the right stick, and it's like this is so badly conceived,
Mm-hmm.
but it's funny and I kind of like it. I was playing it on PS5 and it has trophies. I think I probably won't try and get the platinum trophy just because I don't think the game plays well enough for me to enjoy trying to 100% it. But I'll probably beat it because it's it's weird. It's fun. I
Mm-hmm.
like it. Bring it back. Make Ape Escape 4.
Yeah, Ape Escape 4, aka probably Ape Escape like 20. There was way too many Ape Escape games for the PSP. For
Yeah,
some
there were a
reason,
lot of Ape Escape games for PSP.
there were like 3 or 4 of them, and it's wild because that one didn't have a right stick.
Yeah. Up next we have Parappa the Rapper and Jammer Lammy.
Hell yeah, and Chop Chop Master Onion.
Oh yeah, Chop Chop Master Onion. I forgot. It's so funny. You haven't gotten there yet. Master Onion is the character. Is the last bot you get. He's like the secret special bot at the end of the final secret stage that you only get if you get all 300 bots. And I'm like, why is Master Onion so special?
Because he's the master.
I guess.
You would think it would be like something more central to the PlayStation brand, but
You'd think it would be Toru Inoue, maybe,
yeah,
or
or the T-Rex from the first game type thing. Something
yeah,
very PlayStation front and center. But no, it's Chop Chop Master Onion.
yeah. Parappa the Rapper is an absolutely amazing, brilliant work of audiovisual art. It's a terrible video game.
Yeah, I really want to play it, but it was a rhythm game made before like Guitar Hero kind of figured out how to make rhythm games be nice to you. So it's really, really, really precise and therefore impossible to play except for on original hardware because of the input lag. And I kind of want it to not suck.
Probably the best thing to do is just watch a long play of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
We have Sir Daniel Fortesque, or I think it's actually Sir Daniel Fortescue. I think that is actually how they pronounce it. From Medieval, which I
Yeah.
haven't played, so that's why I'm not sure if
Oh,
they pronounce
Medieval.
it.
That's the other one. That's the one that's on Demo Disc 8. Was Medieval.
Nice. I want to play that game. I bet it's good.
Yeah, I loved the demo so much that so you know how when you're a kid you're stupid, right?
Yes.
And I would because the Medieval demo is a timed demo. I kept thinking if I go fast enough, I can play more of this game and I can get to level 2. Which of course you can't. But I tried so hard to get a little bit farther each time on the when the timer would run out, and I eventually got to the door where it just automatically ends the demo because there's nothing beyond the other door. And
And that's how you became the medieval speedrunner that you are today.
yeah, no.
We have Little Devil from Devil Dice. I've never played Devil Dice. I have heard it mentioned a couple times.
Yeah, the Astro Bot was real cute, and then the prop that you get is a level from Devil Dice, and I was like, this looks like a thing that I would like to play. And that's all I know about Devil Dice is that it looked cool in Astro Bot.
We have Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear, which all I know about Guilty Gear is that the protagonist is named Soul Bad Guy. And his flavor text is it's Gear Stalker. Flavor text, quite a good guy when you get to know him. And again, Capcom said yes, so we have Leon S. Kennedy, Claire Redfield, Chris Redfield, and Jill Valentine from Resident Evil.
Hell yeah.
I love Resident Evil. Have you played Resident Evil?
I have played a little bit of Resident Evil 1, and I got to one of the parts where the way that you learn how to go forward is that you get trapped and you're forced to die. But I didn't have any. I hadn't saved because I was saving my inks, so it took me back a really long ways. And I'm like, I see what they're doing with the game design here, and I appreciate it, and it is not for me. But then I played Resident Evil Revelations, and I loved the shit out of that game. And so I will probably play all of the not action RPGs, the action horror games, and probably not 1, 2, and 3 PS1 because they weren't doing it for me.
Fair
I
enough.
I played a lot of 7, but 7's real darn scary, and
It
scary
is.
video games that you have to make your guy do the thing really fucking get to me. And so Summer was making fun of me for being a pussy, but she didn't have the controller in her hands. And I got to the level where uh, one of the fights with the mom, what's her face, and you have to like crawl through this like bug infested wall, and that's like been your safe spot to get around her for a while, and eventually it's scripted where she says no, fuck that, and like grabs you in the middle of it, and that was very frightening, and I haven't played it ever since.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 is real scary. It's sort of weird how Resident Evil 8 is a direct sequel to 7, and yet it feels much more like 4 in that it's less
Mm-hmm.
scary, it's more action-based, and it takes place in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas 7 felt very much like a return to old focus on being scary and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
also a new focus on being scary, frankly.
Yeah, and very much brought back the what if there was a house but it was fucked up
Yes,
part of Resident Evil, which you gotta love a fucked up house.
gotta love it. Next, we have a driver from Gran Turismo. Love Gran Turismo. Love to play it someday. We have Klonoa.
I have accidentally very recently become a gigantic Klonoa fan. So,
Have you played a Klonoa game yet?
yes, I've
Okay.
played all of them, and I played all of them in about 3 weeks. So, back in the day when Klonoa came out, his character design was awesome. So I doodled him constantly. I was in love with the design of Klonoa. No idea what the game was about at all. Flash forward a couple decades, I'm going through emulation stuff, and I pick one of the Klonoa GBA games to try it out, and I'm like, oh, the only thing you do in this game is grab stuff and you jump. That's kind of boring. I don't like this. I don't know why everybody else likes it. Whatever. And then CW in the Discord loves Klonoa, and King K on YouTube, the one of the K's in his name is from Klonoa. I I was they really liked it, and so I was like, maybe I should give it another shot. And so I knew that it was a game about grabbing bad guys and throwing them, which is what Kirby is about. And Storm is huge into Kirby. He's beaten by himself like 3 Kirby games by now. And so I was like, oh, hey, try this one. Maybe you'll like it. And so all of the hard parts I had to play for him. And then he went to bed and I didn't stop playing. And then I played the second one, and then I played the Wonder Swan one, and the Wonder Swan one is awesome. When you get to like a vertical stage, where it's more about up and down than side to side, you turn the Wonder Swan on its side, and so you have more visual space for up and down, and it's so fucking cool. I played those 3 in real quick succession. They're really short. I played them. It's like 4 hours tops for each of those games, and then I went back and started playing the original because it was on PS5 as a quote unquote PlayStation 1 classic, but it's the remake that it just came out with. And so I played through 1 and 2 on there, and they're real good. It's a game where all you do is you grab bad guys and you can throw them in front of you or throw them down to double jump, and it rules actually. Two
Yeah.
button platformers are good for a reason. We just had a bunch of really good ones on the NES, and then we got 4 new buttons on a controller, and that's too many buttons. We should go back.
I've only played Klonoa 1, but I loved it.
Yeah, it's very, very good. And even though I said I played it on the PS5, I did that so it would be where Storm and I could play it together and pass it back and forth. I highly recommend playing it on the PS1 because it is a buttery smooth 60 frames a second 2D 2.5D game on the PS1, and it looks beautiful. It is fantastic looking.
And we have Abe and two other Mudokons from Oddworld. I really want to play the Oddworld games. It's
Uh,
weird that I haven't played them yet.
I am a giant Oddworld fan who hasn't beaten any Oddworld game. They're hard, but I played Abe's Odyssey on a whim because someone was talking about a emergent gameplay thing. They were like, "Oh, I was trying to do this thing and I had to throw the grenade and then hightail it out of there." And the way that my friend was telling that story, I was like, "That sounds like it'll be awesome." And then I played a lot of it, but got to I think like the third zone in there, and it was real hard, and I died a lot, and I decided I didn't want to play it anymore. But then New and Tasty came out, and New and Tasty rules, and then they remade like from the ground up, going back to the design document for a Exodus to make Soulstorm, which is the sequel to New and Tasty, and Soulstorm really rules. And I love Oddworld, and I have not beaten a single goddamn one of them.
Nice. Next up is a golfer from Everybody's Golf.
Hell yeah!
I want to play Everybody's Golf.
Did you know that Everybody's Golf, aka Hot Shots Golf, is Camelot? It's
Yeah,
Mario
it was
Golf.
created by Camelot.
It's Mario Golf -1.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that until fairly recently, which is wild because I love the shit out of Camelot. Everything they've ever done is good, actually. Now I need to play Hot Shots Golf.
I guess so. We have John Alundra from Alundra, as he called him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play Alundra. I haven't played Alundra, but I want to.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it, and my old roommate Emma was obsessed with it, and that's why I played a little bit. She bought it on my PS3 when she saw it was available, and was like, "Dude, you got to play this." And I liked what I played of it, and I haven't ever gone back. There are, in fact, too many video games.
Yes. One of those video games is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is represented in this game by Alucard, aka Dandy Dampier, with the flavor text, the total opposite of his father.
It's true.
From Castlevania, we also have Richter Belmont, which made me very happy because I love Richter.
Mm-hmm. I have recently been playing the 20XX games in Castlevania. So the ones where you play as Soma, Aria of Sorrow, and Dawn of Sorrow. And they're real good.
Yeah. Aria of Sorrow is really good.
Yeah, I really liked Aria of Sorrow. It was another one where I was like, I just want a little bite-sized action game to play a little bit before bed, and I played a lot of it before bed.
We have the cube from Intelligent Cube. Like, it's a stick figure with an Intelligent Cube level on top of it. I've never played Intelligent Cube, so for all I know, that's a character in the game.
I have not played it. I always thought that it was, what was that game for the PSP? It's Crash something.
Crash something? Crash Bandicoot?
No.
Echo Crash.
No.
By which I mean Echo Chrome.
Is it Crush?
I don't know.
It's Crush. Yeah, so it was Crush. It's also a cube-based
Oh, I think, is that the one with
game?
the really weird box art, the really weird guy on the box art?
Yeah, that seems to have nothing to do with the game because it's not how I remember it at all. But for some reason, I always get Intelligent Cube and Crush mixed together.
Well, they both seem to have cubes.
Yeah, makes a lot more sense than the other games that
makes a lot more sense than thinking Heavy Rain has anything to do with God Hand and Bullet Witch.
Yeah.
Up next, we have Rudy Rough Knight from Wild Arms.
Hell yeah, love Wild Arms. Wild Arms 1 is probably my least favorite Wild Arms game, but I haven't played Wild Arms 4, so that one might be.
They should have had Dean from Wild Arms 5 in it and had it be the only Astro Bot that's voice acted so that we could have Yuri Lowenthal screaming, footwork is everything, and
Meteor
searching.
try.
Yeah. No, instead of that radar bird, it should have been Dean from Wild Arms 5, and he just keeps constantly yelling, searching!
Searching! Oh. Also, I love the radar bird. It's such a good way to do a hint system.
Mm-hmm.
It's very seamless, and it only shows up on your second time through, because it's like the only reason you're back here is to look for secrets. So if you want help doing that, you can just use the bird.
Yeah. Crash. Oh, wait, no. Lara Croft is next.
Yeah.
You might recognize her from Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I love how you get her Astrobot, because she's the only Astrobot in the game that's not in distress. She's just she's just raiding tombs, and she's sneaking past traps to show you that you have to sneak past the traps to get to her.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
you sneak past the traps, and then you punch her, because you only can interact with things by punching in this game. And so you punch her, and she joins you, but she's not in duress at all. She's stealing stuff.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's real good. Up next, we have Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot 1, I've played. It's real good. I'm still mad about them messing up the hitboxes in the Insane trilogy.
It's so sad, because I was playing Crash Bandicoot 1, and I got to one of the levels, and I could not make the jump, so much that I thought I was doing something wrong, and like I had to find a way to lower a platform or something. But no, it's stupid hard for no good reason. Then I played through all of Crash 2, and Crash 2 rules.
Mm-hmm. Who next? Oh, Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter, because Capcom said yes.
Capcom said hell yeah.
Again, usually when I think of Street Fighter, I think of the Super Nintendo, but
I think of Street Fighter on PS1, because that was the first time that it looked like
yeah,
the arcade one, and so the big chunky sprites. I think of it as a PS1 game a lot, but yeah, the Street Fighter 2 for the Super NES is most people's Street Fighter.
some of these games that were on Nintendo consoles but were also on PlayStation are gonna just ring more Nintendo to me because I didn't have a PlayStation.
Oh, weird. I did. That was the first console that like I had free reign of. Before that, we had a Sega Genesis, and the second player controller, the port was a little wonky, and there being three boys in the house that like to play video games, and me being the youngest one, meant I had to stand by the TV and hold up on the second player controller so that my brothers could have fun. And that didn't happen on the PS1. So PS1 is where all of my formative video gaming happened.
Nice. Up next, we have Tyr McDowell from Suikoden. I love Suikoden. Excited for that Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster to finally come out.
I love when Konami was like, "Hey guys, remember we make video games and not just pachinko machines. We're back, baby." And none of those games have come out yet.
Yeah.
I'm excited for basically every single one that they showed. I believe them that they're back, but none of them have come out yet.
Up next, we have a surprising number of race cars from Wipeout.
Wipeout's a video game.
Wipeout is a video game. Up next, we have Phoenix from Ace Combat. I hear the Ace Combat games are actually insane and really fucking good and off the rails and bizarre.
The only thing I know about Ace Combat 7 specifically is the JPEG dog.
Yes. They should have put the JPEG dog in here.
I would love
That should have been
JPEG
the
dog.
prop for the Ace Combat guy. We have Ark from Ark the Lad.
Hell yeah.
I've never played Ark the Lad, but it's a D-list PS1 RPG, so I'm sure it's your favorite game.
Actually, I haven't played any of the PS1 ones. I always wanted to, and I played a little bit of Ark the Lad Twilight of the Spirits, and something about the opening part of it, I just was like, I don't really like this, and I went and I traded it in for Xenosaga 1, which I then also was like, I don't really like this, and I traded that in, and I've regretted that decision because I had all of the Xenosaga games, and after me not liking the very beginning of Xenosaga 1, I traded them in, and my kids could have gone to college on Xenosaga 3. Not really, but
Yeah.
it's an expensive video game, and I think I got it for $10 because it was right at the sweet spot of the late 360 era. The stuff from last gen was dirt cheap because nobody wanted it, but now everybody wants it, and it's very expensive.
Up next, we have Kazuya Mishima from Tekken. Tekken is cool.
Tekken is real cool. Tekken 3 on the PS1 was one of my most played video games. It's probably the only fighting game that I have played a lot of, and I don't remember anything about the actual fighting game part of it. I just remember all of the story stuff because I'm an RPG kid, so the story is what was interesting to me.
We have Captain Rock from Motor Toon Grand Prix. I've not played Motor Toon Grand Prix, but I love the idea of it, and I love that it's here.
I never heard of it before, but it looks very cool.
It is what Polyphony Digital did before they made Gran Turismo.
That is kind of hilarious to go from a literal cartoon racer to a racer that is known for being very realistic.
And up next, we have the girl from Ridge Racer. She has a name, Reiko Nagase. I didn't know she had a name. I just knew her as that girl from Ridge Racer.
Yeah,
I've never played Ridge Racer, but I recognized her as the girl from Ridge Racer.
Yeah, I never played Ridge Racer at all.
We have a soccer player from Winning 11. We have Tony fucking Hawk from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Love that.
It's just a skateboarding dude, and his name is Pro Skater, so it's Tony Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
We have a snowboarder from Cool Borders. I hear Cool Borders is good.
Cool Borders is really good. Oh, that was also on Demo Disc 8. Cool Borders.
Damn, what wasn't on Demo Disc 8?
I'm gonna tell you.
We have the cat from Stray, which I'm sure is a good game.
Yeah, so it looks like it would be a 3D platformer, but it is actually a puzzle game. All of the jumping is scripted. You can't just like, there's not a jump button. You just get up to a thing and you can press X to interact with a jumpable ledge. And therefore it was not at all what the kind of game that I thought it was going to be. And it was a very fun time playing through it with the kids.
Nice. Up next, we have the ship from Resogun. I really want to play Resogun because I love Housemarque so much. Housemarque is the studio that made Returnal and Super Stardust HD and Dead Nation. And I want to play all their other games because all the games of theirs I've played are really, really fucking good.
So I just looked up Interactive CD Sampler Disc Volume 8. These are the games that you could play on this fucking demo disc. Spyro the Dragon, NFL Extreme, aka NFL Blitz, Medieval, Gran Turismo, Metal Gear Solid, Test Drive 5, I don't even remember playing that one at all, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, Cool Borders 3, Ninja, and WWF Warzone. It also had videos for an NFL game, an NHL game, Rugrats, Parasite Eve, and Threads, which I don't even know what that is. But yeah, it is a very, very good video game.
Jesus fucking Christ. You said it had Gran Turismo and Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, and like part of that is 1998 in video games, specifically on the PS1, is kind of an insane year to think that all those games came out at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why the demo disc is so packed. But yeah, it's just a very, very, very good demo disc.
Up next, we have 2 versions of the Sony Aibo, which is not a PlayStation thing, but it is a Sony thing. So it's cute that they're there. I mean, I never had a Sony Aibo because what's the point? But they're weird and cute looking.
The dog thing.
Yeah.
I had the other one, Poochie, when I had the robot dog of that era.
And whenever Poochie wasn't in the room, you were like, where's Poochie? There is the Shiba Inu from Humanity. I haven't played Humanity, but apparently there's a weird glowing white Shiba in it.
That's what that was. Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was from, but it's from Humanity.
Because when I had looked up a list before, and so I saw Shiba Influencer, aka Dog from Humanity. I thought Doge was in this game because Humanity sounds
No,
like the
from
real
real
world.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and Shiba Influencer sounds like it could
Doge.
be that. No. Next we have the Imp from Dreams, aka Creative Cursor. I don't really know what Dreams is. I think it's a thing where you make things.
Yeah, it's a video game creation thing by Media Molecule. So
That's right, my enemies.
yeah. I've seen a lot of cool tech demo stuff of like I made this in Dreams. I have not heard of a single game made in Dreams that would be worth getting Dreams for. Where I have heard of games in say Roblox, the other game made of games, where people are like, "Oh, you should really play this game. It's in Roblox and it's really good." I've heard a lot of those. My favorite one is the Sonic Speed Simulator. You just get to be Sonic in an open world before Sonic Frontiers, and that's a lot of fun to just go real fast in a real big spot. But
And
I
that
don't
one was
have
in Dreams or Roblox?
that was in Roblox. But in Dreams, I don't know a single one. I've never heard a single person do it. I've seen a lot of cool like tech demo things, like, oh hey, I made a million polygon bowl of ramen that you can explore, but
I
but
would love
no
to explore a bowl of ramen.
but no video games.
Up next we have the Pomeranian from Tokyo Jungle, which made me so happy.
Mm-hmm.
I've played Tokyo Jungle for like 15 minutes and I was like, this fucking rules, but I don't have the energy for it right now, and then I never got back to it. We're in the home stretch here. We only have a few left. We have the Flower from Flower, which is fucking hilarious.
It's so good.
We have Amaterasu from Okami, which I haven't played Okami.
I haven't either. I think I played a little bit of the Wii one, but my sensor bar was crap, and so I got to the first time where you had to draw a circle, and it didn't like any of my circles, and so I couldn't finish it on the Wii, and I never got back around to it.
We have Mr. Mosquito.
Hell yeah, Mr.
Love it.
Mr. Mosquito was one of the games that like hashtag gamers were like, man, this is stupid. Why would you ever do it? And then my gay friends were like, no, dude, you should play Mr. Mosquito. It's really good. You caused a divorce. And I'm like, wait, what? I have to play this game.
Spyro from Spyro the Dragon. I've never really played Spyro. Whenever I see gameplay of it, I'm like, so you just sort of go around?
Yeah, so it's its own, like, of the three flavors of 3D platformer, it's the most like a Mario 64, but it feels different in a lot of ways. It's more about it's more of a collectathon than Mario is, where like you want to find all of the gems, and finding where the gems are hiding are an important thing. You do kind of just run around, but the game feel of running around is real good, and it's a very fun game to just play.
The way Spyro barrels forward, I could see that feeling very good. So maybe if I actually tried playing it, I would get it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if the Reignited trilogy is any good. I think it is. I think I've heard that it's good, but I have only
A
played.
lot of people also say the Insane trilogy is good. So
Yeah, everyone I've heard say the Insane trilogy is good says that Crash 1 is unplayable on it, but the other two games are good.
Okay,
So
that's fair then. And finally, the last on the list is Robbit from Jumping Flash. I played and beat Jumping Flash today.
oh wow.
It's very short.
Is it good, or is it a novelty?
It is both.
Dope.
It is an extremely strange way of trying to figure out how to do a 3D platformer. So I don't know how much you know about it, but I'll go ahead and explain the basics of it for the listeners as well. It's a first-person 3D platformer where you're playing as this giant robotic rabbit, and you're in these weird, strange levels that reminded me a lot of Nobi Nobi Boy levels, actually. And you're jumping insanely high crackdown style jumps after you get all the agility orbs. I'm talking jumps, and you can also shoot, and you can jump on enemies' heads or shoot them, and you have to just explore these weird, strange levels until you eventually find 4 carrots, and then you can go to the exit.
Wild.
It's very strange. And also there are, I think, just off the top of my head, I think there are just 2 levels that take place in these weird small areas with low ceilings, so you aren't really jumping, and it sort of turns into a kind of bad but also kind of rules first person shooter. I don't know. It's a very weird game. If you have PlayStation Plus Premium, go ahead and give it a download and try it out. It takes like an hour to beat it. It's fun.
I will have to play it.
It predates Mario 64 and Crash Bandicoot and just all the things that would actually have any influence on how people make 3D platformers. It predates those. And it's really interesting.
Yeah. I will have to play it. And what you, listener, will have to do is to head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where you can donate to help support us. If you do, you can get some extra benefits. At $1 a month, the Gadabout tier gets access to our bonus feed, where we have after shows for every episode. This week, we're not having an after show for this episode because this episode basically was an after show. This is the sort of shit we get up to in our after shows. We will be having an after show for a different episode we're recording this week.
That maybe we're recording. We can never be too sure.
Yeah. That's why I didn't say which game it was, because if it's not the one game, it'll be the one that me and you have on backup. Maybe if I don't talk about it, it won't be cursed.
Yes.
You'll also have bonus seasons of the show that are backer only, like we were just alluding to. At $5 a month, the Warrior tier gets the above, but also I read their names at the end of every episode, like this. Shoutouts to It's Clear Time, Frost Terror, Dragon Slayer 19, Floris, Kildron, Freddy Rodriguez, AA Ron 524, and JFro Prime. And then at $20 a month, the Luminary tier gets all of the above, plus a 1-sentence shout out to whatever they're passionate about. So shoutouts to El Tantavi. He wants you to check out Aftermath.site, a worker-owned, reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. Shoutouts to Vimke, who says, "This late in the equinox, no light would make it here for months. In any case, you could tell the season by how hard the heating vents were creaking." And shoutouts to Carr, who is a dentist, so he isn't plugging a website, but rather your own mouth, and he says to brush your teeth twice a day, most importantly at the time before you go to bed. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
I'm Bernard. I'm distracted because I'm looking at pictures of Toro Inoue.
Toodaloo, folks.